they were not really these equipped with all the different things. People were, you heard of, one was killed, the other one, by the Germans in the factory. But in the factory, I mean, you went every day in the morning, coming back at night. The bedside was the camp.
As a young child seeing such horror in the first camp, how did you deal with it, with the killings, with the hangings?
It's a funny thing. You get used. I mean, you become. If you would kill, I mean, I mean, I saw all these things. I mean, going. I mean, even further, and I mean, I saw people dying when I was already running away from when the Russians came to occupied Breslau and bombing and so on, and we were taken away. We were walking from one place to the other, and I saw people killed just like this, dropping. I mean, we were stopping in at night in a farm. We were walking the whole day that night, and the Germans wanted to have a rest, so we were also resting, and it was snowing. It was a very bad winter then. It was December, and people didn't get up. They were lying. I mean, I remember I covered myself with snow, you see, and I had and I survived, and a lot of people didn't survive.
This is Kim Feinberg in Johannesburg, South Africa, on the 28th of June 1998. I am interviewing Mr. Willie Ungar. Willie, from here, where were you taken?
We were as the Russians moved closer and closer and bombing all the time, we had to evacuate the camp, and they took us. We were walking quite a few days. We were walking from one place to the other. During the day we were walking, and during the night we were sleeping over somewhere in a farm. And a lot of people who couldn't manage to walk even during the day, they told us to walk, and who couldn't, we just shot them. You know, we know that they remained behind. Some people just couldn't, because we were walking for quite a few days. And arriving to a place, it was cold. It was, I think it was the coldest winter then, in 44. And I personally, I covered myself with snow. That's how people, or just didn't cover, was on a farm there, cover, and a lot of people, when in the morning came, a lot of people we find frozen or couldn't take it. And somehow I was strong. I was very strong.
What happened if you covered yourself with the snow? Why did you do that?
Warm. I felt myself warm. I remember that's what I was told, that by friends, to cover with snow, and that's what I used to do it. We had some people had straw. It was farms there. They had straw there, and people were. But we were always less and less. People were, a lot of people died, or they were, if they couldn't move, they were shot. And I know my father was also very weak, and he wanted to stay behind. And he carried on. I carried him, you know, and so on. We carried on, but he couldn't. He was very weak. How I got so strong, I don't know. I was very strong. And we were moving from one place to the other. And I told him always, come, let's go. And slowly we slept over, and we arrived to Grossrosen. It was a very big camp. And they put us in there, in one of the barracks. And we knew that it's only a transit place, because the Russians they were coming all the time. We knew.
Willie, did they feed you while you were walking to Grossrosen?
I can't even remember. I don't think so. I don't think so. And maybe in the evening, I can't remember. I know that it wasn't easy to walk. We had wooden shoes then those days. I think they gave us these wooden shoes, and it wasn't easy. And we didn't have. We were just walking as we were in the uniforms. What we had, what they gave us there, the camp form uniforms, and. If they gave us food, I really don't know. Maybe they gave us something, but people were dying, I know. People were dying, they couldn't make it, and there were less and less people. Because we were just, we were just walking on it's like on the roads, walking, and people who couldn't take it just flaked out, or and they shot them, definitely. If they wouldn't let them just like this, because they were scared somebody, he's all right and he's doing it purposely. So definitely they shot afterwards. If somebody was lying down, couldn't make it, the SS afterwards shot them. And we arrived to Grossrosen. We were there temporarily, we knew. We were there for a few days in a big camp, and they told us to move.
What was your impression of Grossrosen? What were the conditions like there? Did you meet other inmates in there?
We met, but it was bad then already. It was very bad. It was also, I was in a camp, in a barracks there. We didn't go out. We were just lying there. It was, I remember, it was a with straw you had there. Must have been horses or something there. What we were lying there already. Because they had to run all the time. And before we were there a few days, I was with my father then, and we were just lying there. We didn't do nothing at all. And afterwards they came that everybody must go, because they are, destroying this camp. So we didn't. My father was very sick, very, very weak. Actually, he said, no, he's not going. And I had some school friends. We met up there, because to Grossrosen they used to come from all over. You see, people were running from away, evacuating them. And I met them, and he had also the father there. And we decided that we'll go. So what happened, instead of taking us walking, they put us in trains, in open cattle trains, but that was open, you see, not closed. And they took us by train. And there a lot of people were killed. because then already people were wild and killed each other. They were their own people. They didn't have nothing there, no food, no water, no nothing there. People were just killing each other.
How did they do this, Willie?
They threw them out from the what's name, from the trains. I know they were throwing them out, and the what's names afterwards the soldiers shot them. You know, when they were thrown out from the train. You see, they were weak. Some people died on the train, so they just threw them out to make more and more space for the people, because we were really standing like no place at all. We were just standing, and people were just throwing one the other. Who was stronger through? I was very strong. I remember my father shouting for me, because first of all we were there, all different nationalities, you know, Polish, and the Polish people went through a lot. You know, they always called us Hungarians, the Magyars, because they went through a lot during the wars, and they were taken already in 1940 and before, and they were very, very wild, you know, because there in Grossrosen, they were already, it was a mixed camp, and they were just, they wanted to make themselves, place in the train, so they threw somebody else out, should be more space. And I remember my father called me once that they want to kill him. Also these, between them. And I was very strong. I was very strong. I don't know how. And I went between the people. People were lying there, dead, not dead. I went between people, and I took my father away from there, because I wanted to throw him also out, you know, just to make place. And they were throwing there out dead people. People were dying there in the train itself. And from there, I think it was a few days, they took us, we arrived to Mauthausen from the train, and there were not many of us already. And arriving to Mauthausen, again separated the people. Younger people go there who were still, some people were half dead, like my father, and they took me. Then I had a friend, also we met up in Grossrosen from school, and his father, and we were separated. We came to Mauthausen, and we were separated. I went with him, and my father and his father, they took him away. We knew that that was the end. And we were taken in a camp, in one camp. It was the barracks were there. We were taken in a barracks, and they were bringing all the time people. This barrack was divided in two. We were staying, the stronger people, youngsters, stronger, who could still move, were staying in one side, and we used to watch people who, they used to bring them on scratches to the other side, you know, to the dead, where all the dead people were. And we are watching, and I saw my father, they took him. And I saw him, they took him in, and we were watching who else, if his father didn't come, my friends, and we decided it was a guard in between the two sections. And we decided with my friend that we'll go to the other section and bring back my father. And we did. We couldn't get in. We killed the soldier. We killed the soldier, and we brought back my father. It was a German soldier. We took his gun, and we killed him there. And they helped us also. They saw other people what we are doing, and they came. We were strong. We were, I don't know, but I was very strong.
How old were you, Willie?
14 still. I was still 14. And I brought my father back in my bed, and afterwards we knew that the war is finished already. So they took us out, everybody they took out.
Did anyone find out that you had killed the soldier?
No.
So nothing happened, no punishment?
No, they didn't. They find it out. Of course they find out afterwards. But nobody saw it from the other side. That was the other side where all the dead people were already. And they called us out, the whole camp, in the morning, and they asked who killed, and nobody answered. So, and suddenly came sirens, and said everybody to go back to the camp, to the barracks, and that's what happened. The Americans were already very near, and we knew already that the war will be finished. So they called us again out, and again came sirens, and the Germans ran away. And that happened a few times. And I remember one day we were just standing outside, and they called us out again. Standing outside, they killed a few people. They started to shoot the Germans, and they disappeared. And the next thing we saw the Americans there in the camp already, or in the camp the Germans disappeared, and that's how we were saved. The Americans came in from where they came suddenly, and we were still outside standing, and all the Germans disappeared there.
What was your first reaction when you saw the first American walking in?
We knew that already that we are that the war is finished. They came in. I was still strong. My friend, he died. He was already sick then, my friend, and he died. He died already before the Americans came in. So I was there. I was very strong, and I even went to help the Americans, taking out the dead bodies and so on, because it was full there, especially the other part, the camp. It was all full with dead bodies.
Where did you take them, Willie?
They took them out, the Americans made a place there. I helped them. And made a place all the time, and they went through, to see who is alive. There were people half dead, and they took them all nicely out. And my father he was very sick. He had typhus, but my father afterwards, the Americans, a lot of people died, even with Americans, because they were overeating and didn't have food, nothing, and eating. And I know that a lot of people died even under the Americans. But my father was still in the camp in America, in Mauthausen for about 4 months. The Americans looked after him. They took him to it was a hospital they established and so on. And he had typhus. And he survived. I went afterwards, after the war, to see. And
Willie, were you ever ill this whole period
No.
up to Mauthausen? You were never sick?
never sick. Never
Did you
sick.
ever feel weak or...
No, I don't know. I was very strong. I was very, very... How I survived, I don't know. But I was strong. I felt strong. I mean, I went still after when the occupation, when the Americans occupied it, I still went out there and helping them, and helping with my father, They looked after him. And I was strong. I went still, I left my father there in Auschwitz, in Mauthausen.
Did they catch any of the SS guards, the Americans that you know of, that were looking
No.
after you?
No, I changed so many places, I didn't recognize, I wouldn't have recognized them.
And the couples? What happened to the couples that were looking after you?
All disappeared. I never saw them. I never saw them. They all disappeared. All right, what's name, the couples, these, not in Auschwitz, in Mauthausen, they were not anymore. These were all transit camps when we arrived. That's all running away, running, and Mauthausen was the last stage where we were there. So we didn't, and also Germans, I didn't recognize nobody. But I know the Americans captured a lot of SS and the Germans. They captured a lot.
Willie, what happened after you had been working in the camp for, you said, 4 months? What happened then? Where did you go?
You mean after I was
After
free?
liberation, yes.
I didn't. I left my father. My father got better, and the Americans told me if I want to go, I can go. I went. It was in May. I came home with my father. He was about 4 months. I went a month later. I would say a month later, and I was all right. I mean, they gave me vitamins. I know I went blind because I was lacking of calcium. I mean, the Americans gave me already vitamins and so on. And they told me that I can go. Then it was already the joint, came into joint, and I think another group there was the joint, and another group. In any case, already tried to explain what to do, and I went then. They gave me some money, I think the joint, in Mauthausen, that I should go home to see what's happening. And I left my father there. They looked after him already. you know, that was the joint, and another organization, ORT, I think, ORT, joint, and they were looking after him, and they said that I should go and look if anybody anybody survived. So I went. I remember going, they gave me some money on the train. It took quite a long time. And they gave me a German coat. I remember going, it was in May, June, and I went, and at the border, the rush, when I wanted to enter Mukac, the place, they stopped me and they took whatever I had. I had, I think, food in a little suitcase and a coat. It was the Russian soldiers there, and they took everything. They took from me. In any case, but they let me go in. And I went, and I didn't find nobody. I went to Mukac, and I straight away joined. That was already then people who came back, some survivors, and that was established already, joint a little place there where they used to cook. I remember going there for a few days, every day. They helped you out, you know, because people came without nothing then home. So they gave me clothing, and I remember, and food. I used to go in the morning there to eat, and I think I used to stay there actually also. They gave, you know, they looked after the people there. And I went, I didn't